Welcome everyone to Charts Focus 1, where we teach you how to work hard and trade smart. In this live stream recap video, I want to go over 2 day trades that we executed in the live chat room in the CFO Discord. Now the first one was UUUU, or to keep things simple, I'll say quadruple U. And the second trade was uvxy. So there's a lot of U's today. All right, so the first one is UUUU, or quadruple U, right? Or quad U. I guess that's a little bit more simpler than quadruple U. So quad U here, I've actually given this as a stock pick in the CFO Spring Watch about 2 weeks ago. And the reason why for that is that, well, uranium stocks have been creating such a nice base, and quad U was one of them. So I believe Quad U was sticking around the $7 area or range here, and they're sticking to all the major SMAs. So obviously now the 10, 21, 50, and 200 are now all coiled and entangled together. But before that, we had the 10 and 21 slightly underneath the 50, looking to cross above the 50 SMA, which is the reason why I chose this name as the CFO Swing Watch newsletter stock pick, or as one of the stock picks there. So UUUU, or quad U, was proving to show a very nice technical setup, and we're able to see that there's a potential for quad U to make a higher high. So if you guys take a look at my arrows here, right? So this is what I show my CFO Swing Watch members in the newsletter of that week. So I said, look, we've made higher highs here, okay, and higher lows here, right? We had this first higher low point, right? Or you guys could just say this is the first low point before the second higher low was made, right? So this is our first low point, and then on the second low point, this is where we created our second higher low. And as we created this higher low, okay, we created our first pivot high point, right? And so I told my members this: if we do continue to bounce away from this higher low point, the second higher low, there's a great possibility that we can revisit a major level of resistance, which was $7.60. And this area right here could be our second higher high. And if you guys remember, I've always said this multiple times in my first few videos here. A basic uptrend is consisted of higher lows and higher highs. So essentially, I was very bullish just because of the fact that, like I said, overall, uranium stocks have been holding up very well for the past couple of months, right? Ever since that summer rally, right? And a lot of them have been forming these very nice monthly and weekly bases. So quad U here, I expected a higher high to form. And guess what? We did that, right? And we actually revisited $7.60 perfectly, right? On this candlestick here, okay, the high of this candlestick was $7.61. All right, so we're off by 1 cent there, right? Or we're above 1 cent from the $7.60 resistance level, right? This resistance level here. Now, unfortunately, we saw a very large bearish day here. We saw a nice bearish engulfing candlestick, which is the reason why we came back down. However, once we start to do this, right, I start to see another chart pattern forming here. And what is that chart pattern, you ask? Well, it's right here in front of your eyes. So we're seeing a wedge chart pattern, right? So I decided to draw these trend lines as we were right around here, as the price was starting to kind of consolidate as we start to move lower. And as we moved lower, fortunately, we were able to retest this trend line that I've made, forming, and you can guess, another third higher low. Okay, let me actually grab this, right? And as we made this higher low, I said, okay, this one is actually getting pretty tight, right? Since usually when we have a wedge chart pattern forming, make sure you guys are making notes here, okay, either in your brain or on a notebook. We tend to get 3 retests on the ascending support trend line and 3 retests on the descending level of resistance, right? So the descending level of resistance trend line and ascending level of support trend line. All right, so we each get 3 retests. And we have 3 retests so far on the descending resistance trend line, right? 1, 2, 3. And then we got the 3 retests on the ascending support trend line, right? Now, today I saw uuuu had a pretty nice, kind of tame reaction to ER, right? Earnings. And earnings was on Friday, November 4th, after hours. And on the following day, on Monday, so yesterday, we actually decided to act positively and we started to peak above this descending level of resistance, right? This descending trend line. And I said today, okay, we're now back above $7 once more. Okay, we're back above that previous entry for a breakout when I first mentioned this name in the CFO Swing Watch newsletter. So I said, look, if we decide to break above 7.20 exactly, we will get in. Okay, and that's exactly what we did today. So here is the exact contract that I sent in. Okay, so here's a timestamp as well. So quad U, $7 strike call contracts that expire on November 18th. And this was sent at 7:10 a.m. Okay, so instead of showing you guys my usual 15-minute time frame, I'll show you guys the 5-minute time frame. All right. So at 7:10 a.m., okay, so this is right here, right? This is the entire day today, the price action of this entire day on Tuesday, November 8th. We decide to get in right on this candlestick. And 7:10, right? This candlestick, this 5-minute candlestick is when we got in. Right as we decided to break above 7.20, okay, and the opening price was 7.21, we got in right away. Okay, and as we got in, the price just continued to push up higher and higher and higher, right? And as we did, I said, okay, it seems like we can retest that 7.60 level again, that resistance level on the daily time frame. So if you go back on the daily time frame, okay, you guys can see a certain pattern forming, right? When we're usually in a uptrend, right? I remember what I said earlier. In an uptrend, we typically get higher lows and higher highs, right? And today, we decided to retest 7.60, and guess what? We made another pivot high point that was higher compared to the previous high pivot point, right? Or pivot high point, doesn't really matter. Just semantics at that point, very subjective. As we made this higher high point on this third retest of this ascending support trend line, we finally decided to make another third higher high point, right? So we have 3 higher lows and 3 higher high pivot points now. And this is when we decide to get out, right? At 9:13 a.m. All right, so this is around a 2-hour trade, day trade. Okay, we got 65% plus return on those contracts since entry, right? The underlying stock price entry was 7.20, okay, or slightly above it, right? Since we always want to look for and wait for confirmation. And at 9:13 a.m., let me show you guys exactly where we exited. Okay. And I'll show you guys the 5-minute time frame again. Okay, so 9:13. Okay, so right over here on this candlestick, right? So I said, look, okay, it's probably going to be a good idea to exit off of here because we weren't able to break above and hold 7.60 as a new level of support, right? So after we broke out of it once more, what do? We come back down and retest this level as support, and then we bounced on this 9 o'clock 5-minute candlestick. But we started losing it right after bouncing off of it. So I said, okay, that means the buyers are weak here. We've had a great run so far on our position and on the price overall on this name, right? So if we can't hold 7.60, then I will get out. So I waited again for the close on this candlestick on 9:10, and then I said, okay, let me just get out on the next candlestick, right? And that's when we got out, right? And members should have had a return of at least, okay, 55 to 65%, depending on when they got in, right? So this was great, a great return on a day trade especially, right? And remember guys, I am not a day trader. I am a swing trader. So anything above, I would say 10 to 15% for a day trade is enough for me. That's a great percentage return on just a day trade. And usually my day trades tend to last around an hour or 2 hours like this one. But when I see a great opportunity, I want to get out as quickly as possible, especially when the price is very, very volatile. I'll most likely get into what I mean by that in later videos, but that's kind of the way I view things when I day trade. So 10 to 15% is already a great return on a day trade because, well, I am simply not a day trader, right? I'm not still comfortable with day trading. Now, quad U here, okay, it was a perfect exit because as we just continue to, consolidate right underneath 7.60, we eventually decide to break down from this resistance level, which makes sense because 760 is a heavy level of resistance. How do we know? Well, later on in the day when we saw the overall market bouncing once more after pulling back hard thanks to algos, okay, we saw the retest of 760 again, and then we rejected off of it again. So this is also looking like, right here, Meta. So if you guys missed the most recent upload, the most recent live stream recap video, okay, this is the same chart pattern that we looked at on Meta last night. So we can potentially have a double top chart pattern on the 15-minute time frame or on any other intraday time frames here on this critical level of resistance of 7.60, right? $7.60. So I think this is great, to be honest, right? If we have this little tiny micro intraday double top, because we can start consolidating even more underneath the $7.60 resistance level. And why is it great? Because if you go on a daily time frame, we've been basing, okay, underneath the $7.60 level for quite some time. And in order for us to really see a full breakout back towards, $8 and eventually even the double digits, right? The $10 and up. Okay, we need to see more consolidation and more accumulation of buyers above this level if we're able to hold above this level, right? So make sure you guys continue to watch this name, especially as a commodity as well. And I told my CFO Swing Watch members this as well. I've scanned a lot of stocks today as I was basically just chilling and managing my positions, and I saw that commodities were really, really strong for the entirety of today. So quad U, this was a great day trade. So I hope you guys are able to catch further day and swing trades on quad U. Okay. Now, let me go to the second day trade that I sent for my CFO Swing Watch members this morning. uvxy. So uvxy was a play that I looked at when the market decided to kind of pull back pretty fast, which is the reason why I think it was the algos to blame for that pullback. So uvxy around, I would say 10 a.m. okay, Pacific Standard Time, okay, around 10 a.m. We started to see a huge flush in the markets after a nice continuous higher highs and higher lows throughout the first 2 to 3 hours since market open, right? And once we started to pull back hard, I saw UVXY pop, right? And I usually tend to go to UVXY first instead of going to the VIX whenever I see the markets flushing to see whether or not I have a potential to either hedge my positions with UVXY calls or a potential day trade like we did today with UVXY calls. So I'm going to first show you guys the trade that I sent in. So I sent in UVXY $10 strike calls that expire on November 18th at 10:33 a.m., right? 10:33 a.m. So remember that, right? So we're going to 5-minute time frame. All right, so I'll give you guys all the data here, right? All the timestamps. So at 10:33, okay, this candlestick was forming, right? And I said, okay, if we hold 9.50 as support here, since I'm expecting a little bit more movement to the downside in the overall markets after that flush that I saw, that initial flush from algos, I said UVXY will definitely start to try to reach that $10 level on UVXY. And guys, We've been looking at the $10 level for quite some time now whenever we go below $10 on UVXY, because that $10 level is kind of like a magnet for UVXY at this point. So I said, all right, let's see if you're able to hold $9.50. And guess what? We start to make a nice little micro flag on the 5-minute time frame, and the 15-minute time frame, it just simply looked like a nice kind of a slow pullback in order to suck in more buyers, right? And that's exactly what we did. As we held 9.50 and we continued to push up higher, and as the markets continued to go lower and flush lower, UVXY pushed higher and higher with momentum and increasing volume. So if you guys take a look here, UVXY had continuous strong volume throughout the entirety of today. And if you take a look at just the simple orange line here, which indicates the average volume, right? We saw a continuous slow rise on the volume for UVXY. And UVXY entry wasn't perfect, since I would have preferred an entry right when the market started to pull back. And that would have been around $9.40 for UVXY. But unfortunately, nothing can always go ideal for us traders. However, I was able to control the exit, and the exit was absolutely picture perfect. So here it is. Okay, so UVXY continued to push up higher and higher and higher, and we were starting to see 20%, 25%, and eventually we started to see 30%, and ultimately I decided to get out at 40%, right? And guess what? The time is at 11:35 a.m. when I told my CFO Swing Watch members to get out, right? Now, I obviously told people to get out 30% if they want to take profits, right? Since 30% is such a great day trade return in the perspectives of a swing trader like me, right? So, I also said that you guys can treat it as a hedge if you guys want to keep it overnight, since we have midterm elections at the time of this recording, and the results are still rolling out. And I know for sure that futures market will be very, very volatile overnight as we continue to get election results rolling throughout the entire 50 states of the USA. So UVXY, like I said, it could be a hedge, or you guys can just treat it as a day trade. So for this instance, I said, okay, you know what? Let me just take my 40%. All right, this is a great return on a day trade, right? So I said I'll get out at 40% at 11:35 a.m. So here's the timestamp once more. Okay, since this is exactly 35 minutes on 11 o'clock, I'll stick with the 15-minute time frame. So on this candlestick right here, okay, we got out right over here around 9.85 to 9.83. And thankfully, we got out on this candlestick because we flushed, right? And we saw the overall markets continuously bouncing again, okay? And if I switch this to SPY, okay, 11:35 on this 15-minute candlestick is also where we bounced off of that 378 previous level of resistance, and we used it as new support. All right, so we can turn this to a green line now. So this was an absolutely perfect exit, and this is the reason why I tell my students and my CFO Swing Watch members that even if you don't get a perfect entry, the desired entry, you can always get a perfect exit. Okay, don't try to always just strive for just perfect entries and just completely mess up your exits. And remember, your exits can be two things at once, right? It can be your stop loss or your profit target. You just need to make sure you respect both, right? So as I was saying, follow your game plan, be disciplined with your game plan, and once the price tells you to either get out with your stop loss or get out with your profit target, get out. Right? Simple as that. Get out. Okay, so for UVXY, I followed the overall movement on SPY, and I was also checking the price action of UVXY as well. And thankfully, I was able to look at SPY along with UVXY, which is the reason why I was able to get out on UVXY at such a perfect time when SPY decided to pull all the way back to that 378 resistance level. And once I saw support coming in, I said, okay, I'll take my 40%. Okay, I'll leave it, and we should see whether or not SPY bounces completely at 378. And it completely outperformed what I was initially thinking, and we actually got back above on the right track to the upside once more. All right, so that is it for the 2-day trades that we did today. Hopefully that was a great breakdown. I will actually start live streaming tomorrow as well. So if you guys want to join the party, all right, make sure you guys join the CFO Stream Watch newsletter by clicking on the first link in the description box below. You guys can't miss it, right? There is 2 discount codes, right? There are 2 discount codes that you guys can use, and I will not have them available anymore at the start of 2023. So make sure you guys use this opportunity to use those discount codes for those specific tiers 3 and 4. So make sure you guys click on the link and join us today, because if you guys become a CFO Stream Watch newsletter member, you guys will also get access to the private CFO Discord chat room, and you guys will be here with us trading like this. So make sure you guys join. You guys get 2 things for the price of 1, and you guys also get a discount price, right? A discounted price. So make sure you guys join by clicking on that link in the description box below. All right, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys leave a like down below. And if you guys are new here, welcome to Charts Focus 1. I hope you guys stay. And if you guys want to know more about Charts Focus 1, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys on another video. Thank you all for listening.